What's up, Grizz? Welcome back. Episode 24. Finally moving there. We're peaking. I think it's here. Really interested to see the exact route and exactly what happens. It's something I've been thinking about, exactly how it's gonna come up here, and I don't really know, so I'm just excited to see what we're gonna get into. We have Revival as the title for this episode, which makes me strongly believe Light's getting memories back this episode. So excited to see how that goes. Feel like I'll hit the like and subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments about this episode or this series. Let's go on to episode 24. Daft Punk is here to take your men. This could be bad. I think he's just giving up, though. Yeah. Damn, he just gave up. Congratulations, boys. After months of hard work, you've captured not the correct one, but still one of them. Oh.
信じられないだろうが、顔を知っている人間の名前を書くと書かれた人間が死ぬノートだ。
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
確かに人の名前は書いてあるが、格別変わったノートでは。
Yeah, that's what I was. Don't shoot it. She's not gonna hurt you. No. Put the book down. Oh, what the fuck are we gonna do here, dude? Yeah. Did you just expect that this was gonna occur? And you're gonna be able to touch this and then... Uh-oh. This is something I never expected to happen. Was uh-oh. I guess I gotta believe it now, don't I? Don't let Light touch it. Keep it away from him, keep it away. Oh, there's another too, yeah. Yup. Oh, fuck. And now it starts. And he... The flood of all the memories, yeah. Oh no. That's so simple. Like, that's such a simple route to take. But that's awesome. That's not the case. He's acting different, isn't he? He already sounds a little different, yeah. Yep. We're just passing this shit around in a circle. What are we doing? So he swapped, essentially. He took over ownership of the book in which he got from Rem, and then he gave his book in which him and Ryuk were kind of the guys for over to Rem, and swapped the books so that he can continue here to work through Rem, I'm guessing, but I don't know. Several years. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, it will at the end of the day. It's for his own personal gain, though, as well. So yeah, I'm such a good fucking guy, aren't I? Which is...
記憶が戻るのはノートに触っている間だけ。
Right.
手を離せばまた全ての記憶がなく。
Oh. So he has to be holding on to it at all times.
手を離さないまま樋口を殺す。そうすれば所有権は僕に移り、記憶は消えない。
Ah.
ここを1秒以上の間隔を空けずに4回引く。よし。やはり僕はこの時計をつけていた。習慣ってものは変わらない。
He's gonna write it. Oh my fucking god.
八神さん、樋口を車へお願いします。
What the fuck?
わかった。
I'll know something's fucking off, dude. You could just see.
一生のうちで。
Yeah. Like, give that book back. Oh.
なんだどうしたんだ。
おい、樋口。
何をやっているんだ父さん。次は龍崎。お前だ。
But he still doesn't know his name though, right? So now we still have to go through all that and figure that out. But also, so the paper in which he ended up using to write on there, I'm assuming was something from one of the other books that he gained prior, and he put it in there and hid it for the situation and expected himself to kind of do this. I'm guessing that's the route that was, because he didn't have time there to kind of rip out a page and hide it. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't have made sense. So I think it was the other way. Now I'm just more so interested how exactly he plans to do this with L. Like, what the fuck's he gonna do? Because the issue before, he's in the same situation he was before. Well, he's in a different situation technically, but where he still like has the same knowledge of who L really is, right? So he still has to figure that out, and he doesn't have the eyes. So what is he gonna do?
このノートに名前を書かれた人間は死ぬ。書かれる人物の顔が頭に入っていないと効果はない。故に同姓同名の人物にいっぺんに効果はこのノートを刻む役などして使えなくすると、それまでにノートに触れたすべての人間が死ぬ。
Oh, what the fuck?
こういう掟があれば父さんたちに
Right.
処分され、僕の記憶がなくなることも。
And he's kind of forced to keep it around now.
レム、ここに嘘のルールを書いてもジジイに怒られるわけないよな。
ああ、そんな起きてはない。
Ah. Okay. So that's not even a... So that's the only time we're gonna end up seeing Ryuk again, is when he comes back for his apple. Shouldn't have been so
そ
selfish.
れではどういう操作になっているか、松田だけがわからなくなる。
Yeah, but like, you know.
僕もみんなと同じ立場でそう思います。
Yeah.
ノートに名前を書き込んだ人間は、最も新しく名前を書いた時から13日以内に次の名前を書き込み、人を殺し続けなければ自分が死ぬ。監視下にあるライト
Right. Nothing happened.
二人がキラなら
Yeah.
生きているはずがない。
よかったですね、局長。
So now these fake rules are really gonna fucking...
レムさん。でしたね、そこの白い方。
龍崎、失礼じゃないですか。
そうだが。ノートは他にも人間界にありますね。
Uh-oh.
さあ、あるかもしれないし。
Uh-oh.
ないかもしれない。もし他のノートが存在していたら、すべてのノートのルールは同じです。ああ、同じだ。ノートは死神界にいくらでもあるが、ルールはすべて同じだ。人間に持たせた時のルールも今まで申し訳ありませんでした。
Huh.
よかっ
A massive grin.
しかしまだこの事件は完全解決とは言えない。手錠は外させてもらうが、ここで捜査を続けていいな。はい。
He's gotta have a plan here. There's no way he just gave up, right?
嘘のルールによって龍崎は手立てを失った。いいか龍崎。ルールとはいつの世界も神とされるものによって作られるものだ。
Then he's a god in his own world, yeah.
征服し新世界の神に逆らおうとした罪で。
No, I'm good. So are we gonna go our separate ways here? Or are we gonna continue camera in the back? Yeah.
監視カメラで見られていたとしても、僕
Mm.
の口は映らない。
What are you gonna say to her?
今から言う場所に埋めてある。
Uh-oh.
絶対誰も見ていないとき。
Uh-oh.
一人で掘り出してくれ。
Uh-oh. Nice. Oh, looks like we got 2 again, boys. We just went through like 8 episodes to get back to where we were at the beginning.
ライト思い出したよ
They just have more knowledge now, you
あ
know?
の時のことミサも思い出せ
It probably wasn't just that, but
ミサ、君がこの手紙を読む頃には全てを思い出しているはずだ。
ライトからの手
so she doesn't get her eyes back immediately by getting this though either.
龍が秀樹と名乗った僕
L,
の友人を覚えているか？
which is the name of the singer dude, right?
葬ってほしい。
Oh, so he thinks that's actually his name.
ノートも数ページだけを隠し持ち、ノートの切れ端を自然に触れさせてくれ。これに従ってくれたら、僕は天音ミサを一瞬の愛で
Yeah, yeah, you manipulative.
ダメだよライト名前なんて覚えてないよ一日何十人何百人の名前と寿命が見えてたんだもん
Oh, 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 okay. Oh, my boy.
こっちに戻ってくれた
Is she gonna make another one?
悪いが一応俺も押す出れる
Okay, so just to clarify, so I thought initially the name was him assuming that was actually Elle's name, but the way that they took it was that because he went by that name constantly, and Misa actually saw him that one time and was able to see the name and recognize that actually wasn't. This was right before she ended up getting captured. So now the fact that she can remember everything, she should be able to remember the name that she saw then, and then should be able to just write this down and remember his face and be able to kill him. But the problem is she's seen so many over time, she doesn't really remember, and that was probably a long time ago as well, so she doesn't actually remember exactly what his name was. So I'm thinking that's exactly where we are. So now we're at the point she's probably going to accept the deal again and get the eyes again, it appears, which is going to be fucking wild that she would even do this. But I'm assuming that's the route that we're going to go here. Oh.
ライトが持って
Let's go. I'm so happy for you.
ああ神々界のリンゴだ
Ugh. Doesn't look very good.
美味しくない
Yeah.
まあまあ一口
あとそうだリュウク私と目の取引して
Yup. Ugh.
お前一度レムと取引してるんだぞ
You're losing all. Yeah.
残りの寿命を
Anything for
半分に
light.
していいんだな
Fucking idiot,
まあ仕方ない
dude.
よ私覚えてなくちゃいけない名前すっかりと忘れしちゃってさ
And Light won't love me if I
ラ
don't.
イトに怒られちゃうもん
まあ俺はいいけど
I hate that. I hate it. I pray to God this goes a direction where her life is so short already now that before she can tell him or actually figure out the name or do anything, she dies somehow. But it doesn't look like that's gonna happen.
リュウク
Yeah.
なぜミサについて
Everything, yeah, I would protect her. I'd make sure that she's okay, but nope. Yep.
ミサの寿命がさらに半分に減っているまさかリュウクと目の取引を
Yep. He manipulated her.
久しぶりだな、リュウク。
You what?
計算か
Yeah, he expected that.
そんなことしたら寿命が
Why, dude? I hate how he acts like this.
君と長く理想の世界で生きたい。
Mhm.
そういう気持ちなんだ。
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. The worst.
二人で犯罪のない。
Yeah.
優しい人間だけの
But only for
新しい
him.
世界を作っていこう
It probably looks so weird to L too because they never actually had a relationship that was any sort of way like this, and now they're just being like physical and shit, so it looks so weird. Really cool episode. Everything really came together, I feel like, there, of what we've been kind of expecting and building towards for so long now. And essentially, I mean, we're in an entirely different state, so don't take this as me just saying we're at the exact same spot, but we're barely at the same spot of Light and Misa now having ownerships in a way and having memories and everything back again, exactly where they were episode like 15 or 16 or whatever it was, right? So essentially 8 or 9 episodes ago, we're at that same exact point where they have all that same exact knowledge and now can apply it into everything else that they kind of have and knew before and knew after the fact, while at the same time being able to use all the stuff that happened afterwards towards kind of tricking L in a way, or trying to make him think something's going a certain way, while also mixing in a whole bunch of other stuff that actually happened along the way. Really cool, actually, just how it was kind of presented and done. And it just goes to show the trust in oneself that Light truly has, for believing who he really is deep down, and believing the way that he would act and the way he would go about things. And he's so, I guess, complex in a way, to think about how he's like a really fucked up and like awful person. Like he really is, especially this now current version that we're seeing of him, but having enough faith that when he would lose his memories, his other version of himself would be so like kind and so like wanting to fight evil and stuff like that, that he would work with L and do all this, and having faith that he is. And it's wild to me how like rapid he could like change in the difference in himself, right? Of one version of him wanting to purify the world of all this other stuff and stop anybody who kind of gets in his way, and create this new world, and have all this power and essentially be this sort of god. Well, the other version is just so like nice and so like just normal in a way, but still while being extremely smart in comparison to 99% of other people. So it's just wild that he knows himself so well. And it's not, because a lot of times you have, especially just in like real life and stuff, people who like claim that they know who they are, the way that they are. But when you really put yourself to the test, like when something comes up, you might actually reveal and find out a lot about yourself that you're actually not aware of prior, or you didn't actually think, or you just like something like that, right? You find out something new about yourself and your back's against the wall, and you have to like really push and dig into like the deepest part of yourself and really figure out, like at that point, who you really are and what you're made of, whether that comes from something mentally or physically or just whatever, right? What you can do on the spot and come up with, and how much you really have in you. And Light having enough faith in exactly who he is, and actually knowing literally who he is, while most people wouldn't, deep down, that if he loses all this, how he would revert and how he would act and how everything else would go about. Kind of crazy. Really interesting too, the idea of the notebook swap thing. I still don't think I fully understand that, but I guess if I just try and think about it now, he basically swapped who had ownership between like Ryuk and Rem, so that when he regains ownership this time for the first time here, he can see Rem and all the memories of that stuff comes back, and he can remember his plan and all that kind of went along with that. And Rem would be a bit more helpful in these situations, and it would work out because the other guy would actually be talking to Rem and everything. You know, Rem would be a bit more helpful because Misa's the one in charge, whereas Ryuk kind of wouldn't probably answer any questions and everything. And now the name of Rem and other people knowing who Rem is works as well, because Higuchi was talking to Rem prior and all that other stuff goes on. So then when he switched ownership as well and Ryuk took over the other book, Misa being able to go and find Ryuk at that exact point, and being able to remember everything, like that all kind of connected. If any of what I just said made sense, and I feel like I'm missing a lot, but I think that was kind of the direction that it went. And honestly, I don't even know if that part's like as important as the uniqueness, I guess, or the level of like fucking brain power it took for Light to kind of come up with the idea of making his own rules in a way, or forging kind of what these rules should be within the book to set himself apart from everybody else, and doing this prior, so that if other people did get a hold of it or did know the rules or did like whatever happened, right, they would become concerned in a way of how many days like until somebody would have to actually write things down to kind of clear him and Misa from prior. And I don't even remember what the other rule said, but I just remember it works out really well for him, and it scares the others off in a way. Oh, I think it was just about like everybody who has touched the book at some point would die if somebody didn't die or something, or if something wasn't like written in the book for a certain amount of days, like something along those lines. So basically to send like a panic and scare off every single person who's in charge or has touched this book at some sort of point. The thing with Misa, I don't like it personally. But it's nothing against like the way it was done. I think it just has to do with her character. And while I haven't had an issue with her character throughout this whole show, and I've actually found her to be enjoyable for the most part, I just don't like the idea of how dedicated in a way she is, and believing of everything that she is with Light. And I understand, like I really do, everything that's kind of gone down with her in the past, and her wanting to thank Kira, and then also her just kind of falling in love with Light, or like wanting to believe him, and like everything that kind of went on in her situation for why she kind of follows and is in agreement and does just everything that he says. So like I get that, but I just, as people that do that, I don't like those like, typically, especially in like stories who just like blindly follow other people regardless of what they do. Like like there's been a few other shows, and those characters I know specifically are pretty popular, and I'm not a fan of them in the slightest. So maybe I'm just the one who's different in that situation, but I don't like that at all. So it became painfully obvious once it started, and realizing that she didn't have the eyes, that she was going to end up making a deal again and getting them back and halving her life even more, which fucking sucks for in my opinion. It works out like very conveniently though, and like works really well within the story. So there's no like hate on it for that, because it does. But it's just something like I really don't like that route. And the only way I think I would personally come around to liking the idea of what they just did is if, because now she's halved her life multiple times, if she's just going to like not have enough in her to be able to go and figure out L's name, and then Light's gonna have to take a different approach or like really fucking like figure out what's gonna go on, or maybe he just expected all this to happen and he has something else even planned after the fact, and he expects Misa to not be around too long, or expects her to die literally probably next episode or something, right? Like I don't know the exact route, but I'm really hoping that they do something that isn't as straightforward as Misa did this deal a second time and can now just go up there and figure out exactly what his name is, right? And I don't think that's the case, because I don't think they're gonna let Misa go up there. I think for whatever reason they're going to hide it. So maybe that actually just won't happen, and she won't be as useful as I'm feeling like it's going to be, like as straightforward in that sense. But we'll end up having to see. I don't know. It's weird. It works, like I said, but it's also something I just really hope they take like a complete turn on how this results, and it doesn't actually, it isn't like as straightforward as it might seem it's going to be. I do like that they didn't make it as simple as she just got it back though and instantly remembered the name that she saw then, and that she kind of got clouded by everything else that went on and all the other people that she saw and everything else, so she couldn't completely remember. So it's kind of hard for her to kind of do that. So I do like that. So it's showing me at least they're taking a step in that direction to kind of make things go around a little bit more instead of having like a direct line to what's going to happen. So that's good. L's really interesting to me too here in this episode, because multiple times he gives off two different vibes from me. One, at one point he seemed like he just kind of like gave up. And he was like defeated in a way by letting Light go and like stopping surveillance on Misa and apologizing and stuff like that. But another one kind of makes it feel like he's jumped out and actually realized that something's different. Like he instantly seemed like he realized that Light was acting different or something was weird going on with him. And then like a few other times that seemed like it happened, like even on the camera, and realizing him and Misa never really had like that kind of connection to each other. So the way that he's acting with her now seems a little bit off. So I wonder if he has something else planned that he's going to try and do, like a last ditch effort of just like getting out of there, or like trying to stop them, or accusing Light, or just like something that he's going to try and do here last minute, because he doesn't seem like it's like sitting well with him, unless he's just going to fucking give up and he's just like, I can't do this anymore. But he doesn't seem like that kind of person. So I don't know. The watch thing I didn't even talk about, but that simply was fucking great to me. I'm assuming, I think I said it during the reaction, but I'm assuming it was just a piece of paper that he took prior from the book, and he ended up just putting it in the watch, and then he was so trusting in himself to kind of do the maneuver thing that he did to kind of let it come out, and it was just so smart actually for him to write it in blood, and it felt so fitting as well. For him to do that, to make it look less suspicious than if he had to actually like use the notebook himself right in front of L and actually, you know, expose himself that he's using it or killing other people, right? So really clever and really, really cool. Excited though, just to get into what's going to happen next and really see if they're going to take such a straight approach, or what seems like it's going to be a pretty straight shot of what they're planning to do here, or if they're going to have some other stuff kind of kicked in to kind of mix it around and make it happen completely different, which honestly I'd expect that to be the case, because I feel like every time I expect something to go as straightforward as it has been, it really hasn't. But if that's not the case and they do go straight, if it makes sense and it works, I'm not going to be angry, right? So I guess we'll just end up having to see the way that they kind of go about that. I guess the only other thing I would be interested in is, after the fact of whatever they're going to do with the next episode, what Light's plan is regarding the multiple notebooks and how that's gonna kind of work. If one of the people are just gonna go back to the Shinigami realm, or if, you know, he's just gonna have ownership over both so that nobody else can like have them, if that's even possible, and he's gonna try and like continue towards whatever his goal is here, because we have so many episodes left, like what exactly they would do after that fact. But I think that's something I'll be able to have maybe a bit of a better idea after episode 25 or 6, or one of the next couple. Really good episode though. Excited to see what's coming next. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Feel free to check out the other videos on the channel and leave any comments about this episode or this series. I'll be back for episode 25 very soon. You have a good one though. Thank you for watching. See ya.